Welcome to video number 3, Korean from Zero. We are going through Korean from Zero, book 1, and we are going to be learning how to do some simple Hangul today. Okay, we're going to be creating some simple Hangul, and if you need to get the book, you can get them from any of these places here. Let's do it. All right, so in the book, we introduce 5 consonants. We're going to kind of slow roll them out, okay? So let's go ahead and listen to these.
기억,
These are the names.
기억,
It's not how they're ever pronounced.
니은, 디귿, 리을, 미음,
All right. So without me clicking these sounds, this symbol here will either be a G sound or a K sound. I will explain when they are that. Okay. There's actually a pretty decent rule, but it's going to be either G or K depending on the placement in the word.
느,
This will always be an N sound. Okay, like a na,
느,
or as she's saying new, but it's not going to really be a new because these are never going to be used alone. They're always going to be combined with a vowel, and we're going to learn those vowels in just a second. So this will always be a D, and actually it's almost sometimes a T type sound too. In some words, it can sound more like a T to you. Now, Koreans don't hear it as much. A weird phenomenon happens is that these, even though this can be a G or a K, they hear it as one sound. But when I play words later, you're going to go, oh yeah, that is a different sound. And we'll highlight that in a future lesson also. And this will always be an R or an L sound, and this is going to be an M sound, okay? And here what's written right here is the same thing I was just saying, that it's G or K depending on the location, or a G, K sound, or a R, L sound depending on the location of the word. All right, so we're going to combine those 5 consonants with these 5 vowels.
아, 어, 오, 우, 에,
Okay, so there's a little bit of a helper down here. This is A as in father, O as in ah. It's the closest we're going to get.
어,
Okay. Actually, she did it much better than me. This is going to be the hardest one for you. This is where everyone struggles. This sound is kind of between the ah and the o. And it is the number one struggle, especially if you're learning Korean from Japanese.
오, 우, 에, 아, 어, 오, 우, 에.
All right. Now let's see how we build them. Okay, so first we're going to add the gyok plus the ah, and it becomes
가, 가,
okay. Now I'm going to put my headphones on to make sure I can hear it properly.
가, 가,
You might think it sounds more like ka, even though it says GA. It might sound like ka. Okay. So don't worry about that right now. Just know that sometimes it's a K, sometimes it's a G.
나,
So we're adding the N sound plus the and then this is a complete character.
나,
Okay. And here we're going to add D, 디귿 plus A.
다, 다, 다,
And 리을 plus A.
라, 라,
Okay. All right. Now, the way that Korean works is depending on the vowel. Well, first of all, you always start with a consonant. It's consonant vowel or consonant vowel. And some of the vowels you might have noticed, if we go back and look at these lists, this is a standing vowel. That doesn't mean anything. These are all just vowels, but just for this purpose of when you're first looking at Hangul, it's, wait, why are sometimes they on the left and why are they sometimes on the bottom? It's just because if it's a tall one, it goes on the right of the vowel. If it's horizontal like this, it goes below. That's the only difference, okay? That's the only thing you need to know right now. So because we were using this ah every time, we would write the consonant and then we would write the vowel on the right side. We would never write the vowel of a tall vowel like this below it. And you would never write a horizontal vowel on the right side. That would just look really weird and it wouldn't make a unified character. Okay, so this is the most basic Hangul. It will always at a minimum have this consonant followed by the vowel. All right. And here's a good example. And I'm just going to go ahead and play them just so you get used to hearing the sounds.
ค่ะเกน่ะเนตาเตลาเลมาเม
Now you can see that these are all standing, right? Every single one of them. And these are, so that's why they're on the right side, the vowels on the right. Now here, all of these are on the bottom.
คูคูโนนูโตตูโลรูโมมู
Okay. Now, if you have the book, you can go download the sounds and play them over and over, or you can go currently to the Korean from Zero website and you can also listen to these sounds again, or just rewind the video. All right. So now let's look at these words, right? So I'm giving you two words. We haven't discussed how there can be a consonant on the bottom here, but we'll get to that in another video. But right now, I just want you to hear the sound difference. Listen to this.
고구마 고구마
Now, Koreans will often hear like it's the same sound, but when I hear it, it was always confusing to me, and I've confirmed it with everyone else that I learned Korean. They hear K sound going to a G. So if a word starts with that gyok that can be a K or a G, it's the first sound that's always the K sound. In the middle of the word, it will be a G sound.
고구마 고구마
Okay. Now it's the same thing with ryul, where it's the R or the L. When it's at the beginning, it's going to be an R. And this is an English borrowed word, by the way. So they say,
레벨
like if you're a video gamer, if you play games,
레벨
is a word you would know. So level, right? So it's re here, but when it's used in it as this is called a final consonant. We'll get to that coming up. When you have a consonant in the final position and it's ryul, it's going to be ul sound.
레벨 레벨 고구마 고구마
All right. Okay, so now we're going to take all of the vowels that we learned and we're going to combine them just with the K sound or G sound, the kiok. All right, here we go.
가 고 가 구 게
All right. So again, these are the two you're going to mess up. You're going to accidentally say go when you want to say go.
고
Now, she's doing a pretty good job here, I think,
가
of trying to show the difference, okay? But when you hear it in an actual word, this will always be initially probably where you mess up. There are other things that are going to happen, but this is going to be one of the ones that's probably the trickier one. Okay, so let's listen again.
가 고 가 구 게
All right. So with just these 5 vowels and 5 consonants, we can write some words already. Some full-blooded Korean words, okay? Now, you don't have to remember these if you don't want to. We're just going to show them to you. So this one is dog.
게 게
Everything or all.
다 다
Now, to me, that sounds like a T. If you asked me to dictate what sound did I just hear,
다
I would have written TA.
다
Country.
나라 나라 나라
Song.
노래
This is a very important word if you like K-pop. When you go to Korea, you will be going to noraebang. Noraebang is like a singing room. It's their version of karaoke. And you will go, trust me. It's definitely a thing you'll do. And you're going to want to learn some songs. You're going to learn
노래 노래
the first time I went to Korea, I was so lucky on my first trip that I made a bunch of friends like in the very first day. I made friends. And I mean, weirdly, I had a friend that introduced me to his friends, and then I met a bunch of people, and we all went to the noraebang. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to sing. I'd never really practiced. I wasn't really ready for it, to be honest with you. So I just thought, okay, you know what? I'll do 21. They had, what was the name of that song? Oh, shoot. I don't remember. Lipstick. I don't care. So it's a song called I Don't Care, right? It was almost 10 years ago, so forgive me for it being an older song. But I thought, you know what? That song's pretty slow. It's like, I was like, I can do it. No. It will take you a while before you can read. The Hangul is showing up on the screen, but my brain cannot process that fast. So I'll tell you though, if you sing a lot of Korean, your reading will get better. It will get so much better. So I highly recommend that you learn a few Korean.
노래, 노래,
All right. Who?
누구, 누구, 누구,
You don't have to remember these words, but they're good to know.
모두,
Everyone.
모두, 모두,
Okay, older sister. Now I want to warn you, older sister,
누나, 누나,
in English, you can say older sister, whether you're a girl or a boy, and it's the same word. Korean isn't that way, okay? So
누나,
Nuna means older sister. We'll talk about it in another thing. It's not older sister for everybody. Just keep that in your head right now. I don't want to overwhelm you.
누나,
Okay, it's the same thing with oppa, which you probably have heard before. Oppa means older brother, but it's not used by boys and girls. That one's only used by girls. And here we go, that same word we had earlier.
고구마, 고구마,
Which I love now. I love sweet potatoes. Primarily because of Japan, but if you haven't had a sweet potato, they're really excellent.
고구마.
All right, that's it, guys. Remember, you can get the book at Amazon, and I hope you're at least up on. Take advantage of it while it's still there. Right now in 2021, June, the website Korean from Zero is completely free for you to go to and use to learn Korean. It will not be that way forever. We are moving it over to FromZero.com, but on FromZero.com, it won't be super expensive, and you can get all of the languages eventually when it's up there, and it will be worth it because there'll be activities and the ability to ask questions to teachers and things like that. So that's coming. It's not up at the making of this video, but it will be up pretty soon. Thanks, guys. See ya. All right, guys. In the next lesson, lesson B, we will be learning 5 more consonants and 5 more vowels. And more importantly, we will be learning how to deal with the pure vowel sound in Korean. See you there.